What's going on, people? My name is Mordzs and I am here on the road trip for Manchester United versus West Ham today, 8 p.m. kickoff. Man United need this win. I'm going to say you need this win because I'm a United fan, but in general, we need every single win. So I'm going to go through the game. I'm going to go through certain players. Amram did speak recently about a couple doubts, a couple of players that might not be available, and we're going to discuss that. But also, we're going to talk about some key players for United and West Ham. They are actually in a little bit of a good form, you can say. Last 3 games have not really been too bad. But if you look at the last fixtures against Manchester United, they have got the better of us. So we're going to go through all of that today on a road trip. But first of all, how is the game going to go? In my opinion, look, the recent form for United versus West Ham, and I've got it up here, and this is quite, it's quite concerning. I didn't realise what it would be. But United have lost 4 of their last 5 league games against West Ham, more than they had in the 28 games beforehand. That is super bad. That is terrible. I did not realise we had lost that many games recently. And I remember the last game against West Ham, and I think it was a 2-0 win. I remember Wan-Bissaka even getting an assist in that game and thinking, wow, we are pretty bad. That was a really poor point for United, but I do also feel like we can come back and get a victory. Now, our last game against Crystal Palace, we did get the win, as you guys know, but it was a game of 2 halves. I think the first half, United were not necessarily the best, and which is kind of interesting because usually we start off well and in the second half we kind of fall off. But things kind of flipped in that Crystal Palace game. We started off pretty well, and we started off not too well. In the second half, things kind of changed a little bit. So it'll be really interesting to see how we go against West Ham, if we can completely dominate that game from start to finish. And will there be any changes in the team? Let me know in the comments. Who do you think is going to come in and out of that team? We did see Joshua Zirkzee get a full game, which is really interesting because he hasn't really had that much time to play. Will Zirkzee be back? We do know that Sesko is injured, so we don't have a starting striker. He's not going to bring back Chido to put in the team. Højlund's out enjoying life at Napoli, so Zirkzee is probably going to be the striker. But who else do you feel like is going to be in this team? Now, Amram did speak in his press conference about a couple doubts. Now, like I said, we know Sesko's not available. We know Harry Maguire's not available. But there are 2 players that he did mention that could change the outcome of his team selection. Now, the reason why I say that's important is because depending on who those players are, could depend on how he completely sets up the team. And it means that they're probably not going to be substitutes. So it's not going to be Mainoo, it's not going to be Ugarte or Martinez. It's going to be an important player. For example, a De Ligt. It could be a Bruno. It could be a Mbumo and Ahmad. So it'll be really interesting to see what Amram does for this team and who he selects and how he set up against West Ham. So, like I said, let me know who do you think are the 2 doubts, and hopefully they are available for this team. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go through my predicted team that I think is going to start against West Ham, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the players. So the first player that I expect and I really do want to start this game is Senne Lammens. I'm really hoping he isn't one of the doubts. I don't even want to put that in the air, because if Senne Lammens is a doubt, let's just call it off. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next game. But Senne Lammens, for me, has to start for Manchester United. It hurts me to say that he hasn't had that many clean sheets this season, because I feel like he really has deserved it. And the performances that he puts in, they're not crazy saves. He's not doing anything extravagant. He's just doing the simple things well, which United, as a United fan, we haven't seen in a few years. So Senne Lammens will be my starting goalkeeper. Going on to the back 3, De Ligt has to start in his team. I think he's been probably one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League this season. I know a lot of people are trying to, every single chance he have to kind of throw a bit of shade on De Ligt, they go and this, oh, can he handle the Premier League, or is he strong enough, or he makes too many mistakes? Now, De Ligt always proves people wrong, and I'm super confident in what he can do for this team. But the other 2 centre-backs is super interesting. We know that Martinez is back. He did get a few minutes against Crystal Palace, which, I mean, he didn't have enough time to really, show what he can do. And, the game was almost pretty much done by that point. But Martinez is available. Let me know in the comments. Would you rather see Martinez start or Luke Shaw? I think that's a really interesting debate. In my opinion, I still feel like Luke Shaw can do a job for us, and to be fair, a lot of games he does have the off game here and there where he isn't the greatest, but that doesn't really faze me too much, because I feel like the majority of games that Luke Shaw's actually started, he's played pretty well. Maybe Ricky's just got to me, actually. Maybe Ricky's just convinced me. I do watch most of the games with him, so maybe he's just convinced me that Luke Shaw's just a great player, but genuinely, I feel like Luke Shaw would be the starting left-sided centre-back. But long term, I do see Martinez, when he starts to progress and he gets onto the pitch a little bit more, gets some good minutes under his belt, I do think Martinez will come back into this team. On the right-hand side, it's another interesting conversation, Lenny Yoro or Mazraoui. Now, For me, both of those players are capable of starting. I know Lennon Yoro had a little bit of a difficult game. Well, the past few games, he had some difficult games. But to me, I know what he's capable of. I know what Lennon Yoro can do. I've seen his heights, and yes, we are seeing one of his lows right now. But let's not forget, he's a young player. You know, he's playing in the Premier League for one of the biggest clubs in the world, not just England, in the world. It's not going to be easy. You know, most players at that age won't be able to perform every single game without fault, with no mistakes. He is going to go through difficult periods, but I think it's important that as a fan base, not just the manager, not just the players around him and obviously the people that are around him, but as a fan base, we get behind a player like Lennon Yoro and not just, you know, almost write him off after a few bad games. Let's actually encourage him. You know, let's go online, you know, go into his comments and whatnot, encourage a player like Lennon Yoro, and let's try and get him back to his best. Because at the end of the day, if Lennon Yoro is at his best, it helps us. It helps the team. It makes us better. So in a predicted XI, I do still like him. I do feel like he can start, but if he was to come out of the team just to get a little bit of a breathing space, that could help him get his confidence back. And Mazraoui is definitely not a downgrade. I think he's great in that right centre-back position, so I wouldn't mind seeing Mazraoui start. Looking into the midfield, as we know, it is probably going to be Bruno and Casemiro, but this might be the position where we have one of the doubts that Amrim did speak about. And if we do have a doubt, I don't see a reason why Kobbie Mainoo can't get into this team. I mean, we've already seen recently the news that's come out that Kobbie Mainoo is one of the players that could be going out on loan in January, that United are going to be looking for offers. In my opinion, I don't want him to go. You guys know I'm a big Kobbie Mainoo fan. I don't want to see him leave the club because, look, Kobbie Mainoo is the kind of player that in 3 years, teams are going to be looking at to buy him for 80 plus million. That's the level that I see Kobbie Mainoo at. Because teams are going to look at Kobbie Mainoo thinking, let's go and get this 23-year-old kid, I say kid, but 23-year-old player into our team, and it's going to cost a lot of money. We have him right now for free. Let's keep him, let's develop him, let's give him game time, and let's see what we can do. So Kobbie Mainoo for me would actually start in this team. I see him starting next to probably Casemiro or Bruno. I doubt Bruno's not going to start, let's be honest. But if he is one of the players of doubt, I do want to see Kobbie Mainoo start in that midfield position. The two wing-backs, Amad Diallo has to start there. We know what he can do. We know the levels that he can play at. One of our top players, and again, another player that, you know, every time he has a little bit of a bad game, people are straight away onto him, or Amad, he's not good enough, No. Amad is one of those players that he has a capability and to do things that other players on the pitch can't do. So for me, I love Amad Diallo, and I think he has to start at right wing back. On the left-hand side, another interesting position, Dorgu or Dalot. I would personally, I'll be honest, I'm not confident in this one right now. I was going to say I'd personally say Dorgu, but I'm not the most confident in this position. I'm going to say Dorgu just because naturally I do think that there's a lot that he can do, and his attributes in his game, his athleticism, his work rate, his ability to trap back and even go forward as well. He is very, very quick, so he does provide that extra width on the pitch. Going forward, he does have some things to learn, but I do think I prefer Dorgu over Dalot in that left wing back position. Looking at the front three, again, it's very, very interesting. Who is going to be the doubt? Is it going to be Mason Mount? Are we going to have to put, I don't know, Amad Diallo in the left 10 position and completely change the whole team? If everyone is fit, the manager did say that Cunha is back, which I think is going to be a huge, huge bonus for this team. I do want to see Cunha back in this team. I'm not going to lie to you. I do want to see Cunha. Obviously, Mbeumo can, you know, he's going to start. He is one of our, if not our best player so far this season. And that leaves one more position. Is it going to be Xerxes? Is it going to be Mason Mount? I think I'm going to go for Xerxes. I'm going to go for Xerxes. Even though I love Mason Mount, I love Cunha as well, and all these kind of players, I do still want to see what Xerxes can do. I feel like there's so much more potential that he's got in his game. And we saw against Crystal Palace, once that goal went in, he was a different player. He was a completely different player. We saw I'm going to say the old Xerxes, but let me just say the Xerxes from last season. We saw that player come back out and everything seemed to be a lot more fluid, a lot more smooth. His first touch was a lot cleaner. His link-up play was helping us get up the pitch a lot quicker. So I want to see Xerxes get some more game time with this new confidence that we're seeing. So yeah, my front three would be Cunha back in the team if he's fully fit. If he's fully fit, Cunha, Xerxes and Mbeumo. But let me know in the comments, who would your front three be for this team, for the game today? Now, I want to go on my predictions, score predictions. Now, I've actually not thought about this, but off the top of my head, I might change it in the countdown to kickoff, so don't count me on this. But off the top of my head, I'm going to say a Manchester United win, of course. We're at home. We have to win the game. I do think we're going to score a couple goals. I can see us getting a few goals. We do need to kind of bring our home record back up to scratch. I know we have had a decent home record this season, but losing to Everton with one, against 10 men, it kind of puts a little bit of a blip on that record. But I do think we're going to win. We're going to score a few goals. Let me just throw out a random 3-1. I'm going to throw out a 3-1 because I feel like we are going to get some goals in this game, but it is the United thing to concede. It is the United thing to kind of concede a goal. We haven't had that many clean sheets. So that's my prediction. Let me know your predictions in the comment. Thank you guys for watching this road trip, and I'll see you in the next one.